So good morning and welcome to Monkhouse on Mondays. Today I have with me Penny Southwood. Penny is the Managing Director of xnleisure. Good morning, Penny. How are you today?
Good morning, David. I'm good, thank you.
Good, excellent. I always start these conversations reflecting on the Chief Medical Officer's advice that we should take exercise once a day. So I was just interested, what have you been up to stay fit and healthy?
Well, I think I very much fall into that category of people who've been exercising more since lockdown. So I still, pre-lockdown, I still teach a few classes, so I keep my hand in there. So it was really important to maintain that. So I've been on my bike, on my turbo trainer, doing some yoga, and I kind of been mixing up a little bit actually with different online and streaming options.
Yeah.
So, and I have a very fit dog.
Yes, I think there's a lot of those about, isn't there? Fit dogs at the moment. They're going to be a nightmare when we all go back to work. They're all going to be going, where's my walk? So,
yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So the reason I wanted to chat with you today, Penny, it's about leisure management systems, or LMSs, as we'll probably refer to them. A really integral part of a well-run business and well-run building. So what things did xnleisure and the LMS providers do to sort of support people going into lockdown? And then as we've gone through lockdown, how has that changed?
Well, I think I mean, a big part of our business is supporting our customers and working very closely with our customers. Clearly for everybody, lockdown, whilst things had started to slow down a little bit in the industry and participation had clearly dropped, there was that sudden kind of, okay, everything's got to change, everything's got to close. Yeah. And for operators, that was clearly the operational aspect really important. Mm-hmm. So we saw kind of a bit of a spike initially. We need some help to sort this out. Can we do things in bulk with direct debits, which essentially never really happens or hadn't happened prior, previous to that, as in terms of the volume of things. And then it went pretty quiet. So that was a time I think people were taking stock. How do we work this? How does furlough work? How do we work remotely? And then we've just seen a kind of a gradual increase. We were able to support people initially to get access when they were remote working. And then projects that had gone on hold have started to lift a bit. So we've really needed to be adaptable. It's meant lots of, as it has for everybody, okay, this is happening this week, what's happening next week? And being able to be really reactive to support our customers. And we've seen them sort of fall into different categories where some who, okay, everything's going on hold, others who are saying, actually, we can use this opportunity when no one's or fewer people are logging into our LMSs to actually do some really solid housekeeping, to do upgrades, to cleanse data, to sort of, kind of do the stuff that doesn't actually always get done. Okay. And then actually, where do we go next? What do we do? How does the industry respond, and how can we support and potentially influence?
Absolutely. So have you found organisations using the databases that sit within the LMS as a means of communication with their customers, of sharing online platforms and that type of stuff?
Yeah, and the thing with the LMS is people use it in different ways. I mean, it's an open and flexible database, so we don't close it down. So there's a lot of data in there for customers. And there will be different integrations, different companies or providers will have different integrations. So absolutely, where customers are integrated with the data hub, information can feed through there. Some are integrating it to marketing platforms, and that can, obviously they can use that information as well, but it's essentially that the hub of all that information and driving through. And then through the Leisure Hub product, we've got customers who are able to, absolutely, it's an online, a web-based platform where they may have a fitness app or fitness support app coming into that, and their customers are still using that interface. It absolutely has to be there. It's a way of communicating through.
Okay, and it's interesting because looking at the numbers, you mentioned Data Hub in there, we were starting to see an increase in participation rates, and Active Lives are telling us the same. Obviously that's changed, but is XN able to capture participation if people have gone on for an online product that's provided by an operator?
Yes, if there's an integration, yes. Right. So it's just how that information is passed backwards and forwards. But if they're coming in through our product, so essentially if it was a group exercise class, for example, or a gym session, and they come in and they swipe in and attend, they would be able to do that absolutely. And I think that's where the opportunity and the challenge is to actually how as people come in through online platforms is making it that seamless and giving the operator the information backwards and forwards. So it's absolutely possible.
Okay, that's interesting. It'll be interesting to see how many organisations have done that, to see if what levels of participation they've managed to maintain during the past however many days. I've actually lost track of COVID now.
Yes.
So we're in this moment in time now. We've had some announcements recently around potential for the sector opening up on Independence Day, and we're going to start waving some flags and things. What should we be doing now with our leisure management systems to sort of prepare for that moment when our doors are open and our customers start coming in?
I think the thing is that as difficult as it is, a lot of organisations are thinking ahead. There are some sort of real housekeeping elements. We've put together a guide and on reopening advice and guidance. So from with social distancing, and I know it's kind of changing. Is it 2 meters? Is it 1 meter? But I think everybody widely accepts that actually class size is going to reduce. Gym sessions are going to reduce. Things need to be bookable. So it's actually aligning your system to that. So you can absolutely reduce attendance numbers in sessions. When it comes to swimming, if it's pre-booking, it can all be done within the system, but it's making sure it's lined up to do that. And we can support that. The guidance is there, plus our support team can help people do that. And then I think the other side is the reporting side. So some simple things like, have you spoken to your chip and PIN providers to make sure you can have, remote cardless payments? Sounds simple, but actually, if you haven't set that up with your birthday, and probably most people have, but it's checking things like if there were memberships that expired during this time, if everything's been locked down, going in and making sure they've been extended. Direct debits, there's an awful lot around memberships, making sure that those payments are aligned, because clearly there's a lot around confidence and giving people confidence coming back in and breaking down barriers to them re-entering the facility. You don't want payments to become an issue, do you, really, in terms of drawing people back? So those sorts of things, and we are really working with people to say, okay, look, we can do some simple scripts, maybe we'll clean data, we can do some bulk things to really facilitate that. So I think it's those sorts of perhaps the not quite so exciting things, but very important. As I say, this kind of guide is there, it's all on our website. We're also, we can provide things like hand sanitizers and temperature and things. The kind of the access monitoring, the facial recognition, QR codes, making things less contacty, so promoting contactless and that sort of thing. Really important to think about those pathways through. Think about actually, are there different KPIs that you're going to want to measure or report on, and talk to us, or get your LMS aligned, I guess, to your operational processes, or the changing operational processes.
Okay, it's interesting. We've just done a swimming lesson survey. We've got 47,000 responses to it, and it's almost 50-50. 50% of people want to come back now to lessons, 50% want to wait until September. And as an operator, when I had the pleasure of running buildings, the swimming lesson program was probably the biggest challenge when it came to the leisure management system. So have you seen or heard any good practice around swimming lessons yet?
To be honest, I think it's, as you say, it's still kind of, people are trying to work that out, aren't they? I mean, what we're hearing is we have booking on course. The element of booking swimming lesson management is there and integrates with our system. We're definitely promoting people book sessions for swimming. But in terms of swimming lessons, no, I mean, we can facilitate what is needed within the system, really, and what's decided is the best way forward for an operator. What I'm hearing is smaller class sizes, limited instructors not going in the pool, those sorts of things. I guess they're common sense, really. But we're kind of watching and listening and reading your survey and then seeing what we can do.
It's really quite interesting, because in my experience now, swimming lessons are really quite close to the amount of revenue and profit generated than the fitness is. And we seem to have spent a lot of time around fitness and maybe not quite so much time around the swimming lessons piece. And of course, parents coming back is a real challenge around the safety of their child, not about the safety of them. So I think there'll be some stuff coming very soon around that operational element of how we manage. So we'll keep our eyes on that.
Yeah.
But what I'm really interested in is the opportunity this provides. It has been a challenge. It's been very, very difficult for an awful lot of organisations and people. Things have an opportunity to be different and better as a result. So what sort of things are you considering, and what sort of things are you hearing about that make us feel that actually there's a positive end to what we found ourselves in?
I think I'm quite a positive person. I think there's always, wherever there's a challenge, there's always an opportunity. And I think, also with the heart kind of still in fitness as well, and passionate about people being more active. For me, I think in the wider context, actually whatever we can do to make it easier for people to be active is absolutely critical. Sounds obvious, obvious statement, but actually the part that XN can play in that is around, I think, recognising, there's been, the statistics show there's been an uplift in online access of exercise. There's been some great quality stuff, and there's been some real kind of mixed stuff, and actually us facilitating and enabling our customers to give end users more of a blended approach to, so people have got used to exercising online and exercising remotely. How can we help to facilitate that? Because actually, maybe some will say, I've no doubt people are desperate to get back into facilities. I know I will be. It's the social interaction. But actually, how can we support the industry to enable that, and also kind of keep the quality up and keep the support going as well? Because it's a lot of it's around motivation and support, isn't it, really? So yes, one of the big things we've been working with another third party to introduce a streaming platform, and I think it's allowing people to access it in different ways as well. Whether it's through, whether it's a tablet or the TV, how you want to do that as well is really important. So that's something we've been working on a lot, and again, it's in the kind of IT world, is it's that making it as seamless as possible. So the word integration get used a lot, but actually, what's the best customer journey for those people that come into that? So I suppose, in terms of positivity, and I think the other thing for us is, moving things online and remote. I think in the past we're probably all a little bit guilty going, well, that would never work unless we're face to face. And from our guys doing training in the evening to facilitate someone who's working remotely, who's actually had twin girls, and she's like, could we do the training in the evening? There's been this adaptability, which is good and bad, and I really hope we can continue to do that. It'll be kinder for the environment, it'll be better for people's work-life balance, that we can continue to do more work remotely, as we are now. Zoom, it's coming to its own, remote meetings, that we can, kind of push that forward. And I suppose the final thing is really that actually I'm sure most people and leisure providers would say they work really closely with their technology partners, but actually I think that's increased even more, and it can become, it's the power of people joining together, really. Often if there's an operational process that is then we're trying to fit technology to support, that can be more challenging than when you sit down together and go, okay, this is what we want, this is the end result we need, what can we do, and maybe adapt a bit each side. And I think there's been, that's been really evident throughout all of this.
That's a really positive way to end our conversation, because we've had our time, and that piece around collaboration and bringing your technology partner in early when you've got an idea, I think is a really good point to stop on. So at that moment, I'm going to say thank you very much, Penny. Thank you for your time. Really nice to see you, and I'm sure we'll catch up soon. All right, take care.
Thank you for your time and the opportunity. Thanks.
Cheers.